Today we're having a chat to Saab Hasan, one of the ATB trainers, one of the new trainers on the list of a dozen or so that we've got. Saab, thanks for the chat. We'll go right back. How'd you get started in the racing industry?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Pete. I started training in 2004. Prior to that, I'd worked for Mick Shirky for a number of years, and I ventured out and worked for Johnny Sadler and Colin Hayes at the time. Then he got transferred to David Hayes, and I did a little bit of time with JB Cummings, Bart Cummings. So before I started training, I probably accumulated about 17, 18 years experience, and felt that I was ready to sort of, get in the arena and have a good dip, and started training back then, 2004.
Any association with Bart Cummings have to be terrific grounding?
Yeah, look, Bart was a very gentle man, and he was a very quiet person, and everyone knows him for his one-liners, and but he was a fantastic trainer of horses, and he really cared about his animals and loved his animals, and it was quite endearing to see a person of Bart's quality, how much love and passion he had for his horses, even though he was such a large trainer. So I knew back then that I didn't want to treat my horses as a number. I want to treat them as an individual, and it stuck with me.
You set up at Flemington, so we'll just go through how many you can train, and obviously the facilities there are wonderful, and just give us a rundown there.
Yeah, look, we've got 10 boxes and 4 yards. Horses in the yards are trained there all year round. We leave them out all year round, they love it. And we've got room to move to another 4, a smaller barn just not far from where I am, so we can do the pre-trainers there, or the young horses just coming in for a month or so. They can get quarantined there and come over. So all in all, I've got 12 in work, Pete, and I can train 14 comfortably. We can get to 18, but I probably don't want to get any bigger than that. I'll lose one-on-one touch with them. That's
just an important point we touch on now. The point of difference with you, a trainer, you're very hands-on. You take that as a real positive as a trainer?
Look, I do. We got a horse off you guys, as you know, Serious Suspect, and he really needed that one-on-one, and we gave him that one-on-one, and it does take time, but if you're dedicated and you haven't got large numbers and you're not training 40, 50, 60 horses, which is pretty complex to do, you can give these horses the attention that they deserve. And if they've got the ability, we seem to get the best out of them.
Yep. Sure, great example there. Obviously, you had him from the start, and then he left, and then he come back. A wonderful story for you, Sure.
Yeah, look, he was a great advocate for us. It just showed really that when you are so pedantic and finicky, and you are that one-on-one, you give them the personal touch and treat them the way you probably should. What they can do, and he never won for 4 years, and when we got him back, he won the Easter Cup Group 3, was a personal best. So to do that as a 9-year-old was very, 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 I don't know what the right word is, Pete, but it was just very fulfilling for us, and very satisfying. But more importantly, just to see the horse do it was just fantastic for him.
Just moving on, obviously association now with ATB. How'd all that come about with Darren and Liz? Obviously, it's something we want to build on, and obviously you just mentioned Serious Suspect, but yeah, back to the initial start or connection.
Yeah, look, I've seen Darren at the races for a number of years, and one thing that I've noticed was that ATB's always had a representative at the races, which I felt was fantastic. I've never trained for another syndicator before, and I really wanted to train for Australian Thoroughbred Bloodstock for that reason. I just love the way that they give their clients that one-on-one attention. And I kept bugging Darren for a horse, and sure enough, as you know, Pete, you push for Revolutionary to come to our place to be given that opportunity. He was a bit of a troublesome horse. We did the best we could with him. We got him going, but probably couldn't stay, so we retired him, and as we spoke about, we built that bridge and built that connection, and then when, unfortunately for Darren Weir, when he was suspended, our name was thrown in the hat, and we were successful to get the vote, which is the way you guys do things, and we're very grateful for the opportunity. And again, it was fantastic to get that horse over the line for you, because you believed in us, and all the owners believed in us, and it was. I just felt that, you know, we could repay you back.
Saab Hasan, going forward, you love Flemington, and you can feel that when you talk. Obviously, from day one to now. What's your plans going forward? Is that going to be the base, or you're looking outward, or it's hard to grow numbers, and I suppose that's the ultimate?
Look, it is. Just a touch note, obviously Manning Tree Park, which is ATB's and Darren and Liz's dancers property, we utilised that to adjust a couple of horses, and they came back in great order. So also we utilised the walker there with Serious Suspect when we felt that he needed a bit of a freshen up. We sent him back to Darren's place at Manning Tree Park, and he had 9-10 days there and came back a brand new horse. So going forward, I think if we've got that set up and we can utilise it when we need it, I probably don't need my own place. But I'd like to, you know, for my babies and my breakers, I'd like to possibly get myself a place not far from Flemington, where I could continue to utilise breaking them in or handling them, and if they're just not ready to come to Flemington, well, then I can just take them away from the track and just give them that one-on-one attention. So we're going to stay at probably 18 tops, maybe 20 at Flemington, and we'll just utilise everything else that we've got around us.
Also, Saab, I believe you got access to working horses at the beach? Oh,
we do. We'll go to Altona Beach a fair bit when the weather's right and the horses are in full work. It's another form of freshening them up. Sometimes I'll go to Manning Tree Park, as I said previously, and go on the walker, or alternatively they might spend a week down the beach just to freshen their mind up and their body up. And it's only 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, and they spend probably half an hour at the beach. So yeah, we've got that option, and we don't even charge the owners extra. It's just part of the training.
Yep. Very hands-on, and we've seen that. Any preference with sprinters or stayers?
I love stayers because I'm a patient person. You've got to put time into them. I find that anyone can train a sprinter, but not everyone can train a stayer necessarily. That's been proven. And if you can read a horse, you know, stayers are my preference. Yeah.
Look, it's been a great story, Saab. Obviously, you know, from humble beginnings and out to Australia and set up the way you are. We're loving the involvement. I've got one final question for you, and I've asked all the trainers this: Cox Plate winner or a Melbourne Cup winner? I knew that was coming. Good on you, Sabi. We love your involvement, and we look forward to.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, beautiful. Thanks,
Bye.
mate.